What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing today? We got an interesting topic today. We got some good guests coming in, my brothers. They're gonna come on in. So we're gonna start pulling these brothers on in. Hello, hello. Hello, hello everyone. Hello, hello. Find my brothers. Like I said, we got a great topic today. We're gonna be hitting it. We got some good guests coming in. Bring my brother Renz on in. What up, though?
What's up, P? How you doing?
Oh man, hanging. How you?
Man, another day. Another day in paradise. Loving it, bro.
Okay. How you feeling today?
Man, I feel good, man.
Okay.
With the
Okay.
king, always a good thing.
Absolutely. So we got some of our brothers that's gonna come in with us today, but let's start this topic off, man. Let's start it off. What you got for me today?
Okay, so we're looking at the cost of growth. What does it cost you to have growth?
Man, that
That's an
that is
interesting subject, man, because we have to have growth in everything that we do, right?
right.
Absolutely have to have growth, but I think a lot of times, man, a lot of people don't know what it's going to cost them to have that growth. You know what I mean? So I just
Yeah.
wanted to pick your brain a little bit today, as well as some of the other people that's coming on, and just see what did they growth cost them, and some of the methods that they even went, you know, and the avenues that they went down to get that growth. So
You
I'm
know, when we first, I was really excited about picking this topic because it hits home for me as far as
okay,
the cost of growth because you don't, I guess, going through the process, you don't really realize, right?
right,
But some things that you used to do or people you used to hang with, you don't or you can't anymore. You can't do some of the things you used to do, or you can't hang with some of the people you used to hang with. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
um, I just think in your life, you evolve.
right,
You know, you just evolve in different areas of your life in different situations. So yeah, absolutely. Especially, I'm gonna say, especially with me as far as business, and I mean, it's a cost you have to pay. You'll pay a cost if you don't, not up on your stuff.
right.
Yeah. What is your thoughts with that?
Man, again, just in business is vital. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you don't grow, you stay the same. And
Hmm.
we think that we stand in the same place, but in our reality, you're really dying. And it's a
Yeah.
slow death because you're not moving forward. We were
Sure.
born for us to stretch to reach our maximum potential, and
Right.
so if we're in the area where we're not reaching if we're ever in an area where we're not reaching our maximum potential, we have to make an assessment. You know, and I think
Right.
that's the important thing when you're ready to go to that level. That next level is making an assessment, but not just an assessment, but an honest assessment. And
Sure.
sometimes somebody else to bring you to that place where you can make that honest assessment to say, you know what, it's time to grow. And so that reminded me of the conversation when we was talking about the importance of listening to other people and having, a strong team, because without that strong team, you'll never understand because you can't, see yourself the way other people can see you. So when
Yeah.
somebody,
Absolutely.
you know what, it's time to grow, sometimes you'll listen to someone else a little bit more than you can see it yourself.
Absolutely. My brother, what's going on?
Pete, how you doing, bro?
Brother. What's up, Lorenzo? How you doing?
Man, I'm happy to see another day, brother.
Well, can I been telling you something, brother? I've been like the Lord been putting you on my heart, and I've been trying to reach out to you.
Really?
To, yeah, like for a long time.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So the
Yeah,
Lord have you on my heart.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's good to hear, but we definitely connected now, my brother.
100%. So what's good, Purnell? How you doing?
I'm good, my brother. How you?
One day at a time, man. Every day that's on just elevating and thinking.
That's
Man,
it.
man. It's funny because anytime me and you had conversations, that's what we on. I call you periodically, or saying you'll reach out, and that's what we on.
Yeah.
That's what we on. Our topic of conversation today is growth. What is your thoughts with that? And how did you grow in your life from where you were to where you are now? What's the main thing that had you growing?
Well, I believe when you reach your full potential and your growth, you gotta.
Hmm.
If you think about it right there, right? When a
Hmm.
tree is done growing, it's dying. It's like once you reach that pinnacle, then you got to start declining. So for me, it's like I got to be a student of life right until God calls me home, till I
Right.
start on it. So I think I'm growing every day. I'm learning what relationships look like. I'm learning what business feels like. I'm learning who God, how I identify myself with God every day through struggles and obstacles that's placed in my path. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a lot of things about life to it's for you not to be a student. You know what I'm saying? So when people figure out one area and they find that niche and they find that detail in their life that they're happy to live in, but boxing has given me that a long time, but I haven't never been satisfied, you know what I'm saying? Because it's too much levels of growth in life, and it's too much of witness in boxing where it's like every story is the same. You get struggle, fighting, and we get to the point where it's gotta be like something else that you gotta elevate your fight for, you know what I'm saying? So, for me, man, I'm still growing every day. I'm 38 years old. And when I think about that age, at 25, I was like, dang, 30 of 25, man, in 5 more years, I'm gonna be 30, right? Then I had my first kid, and time went by so fast. My son is 7 years old.
Wow, is he?
My son is 7. My son,
Oh my God.
it's like even with the boxing, it's funny how people always think that I'm on my kids. Are you gonna let your son box? Like, yeah, like how many times, not every story is like your father made you box. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
You know what though? I think it's when that's your all of us, that's a part of our journey and a part of our life.
yes,
You know what I mean? So any and everybody around us, uh, I guess they think that's what we want to share to uh, our loved ones or what have you. So I don't know. My thing is business. You know what I mean? I want to share the wealth. You know what I'm saying? I want to share the wealth. Sometimes like boxing is a hard sport, brother.
and it's crazy you said it because I tell my son, if anything, I say, yeah, you can play everything else, but you can't play boxing. That's one thing.
No,
One
no.
sport I'm not going to think, and I don't want to like he had me want to train him. He was playing.
Uh-huh.
He was playing, and I said, don't ever in your life, and I got real serious. Don't you ever in your life think you can just play boxing? We not gonna play.
Right.
That dad never had to play games doing this. So anytime you ask dad to train you, you can't be playing. And
Right.
he doing take it serious. But he like basketball. I don't know nothing about ball. So I'm like, the only thing I'm able to get to him is like perspective about being a fighter. So how that
Absolutely.
supports your
Absolutely.
mindset.
Absolutely.
We don't play boxing though.
You got
That's
that
part.
right.
Purnell, how
Yeah.
many conversation we had about boxing?
You
When
said
we had,
what?
how many of our conversation be about boxing?
Here and there.
Uh,
Here, I mean, we definitely hit it, but a lot of it, I mean, to be honest, man, me and you are more on checking on each other, the family, you know what I'm saying? And just to be honest, loving on each other, to be totally honest, man. Like I said, you've been my guy for a minute. And then I think with all of us, we have a relationship outside of boxing. You know what I mean? We have a relationship outside of boxing. But like I said, man, I definitely, it's crazy when you're in the ring or when any of my guys in the ring, it's a different ball game. Me and wifey had came down to Madison Square Garden to see you fight down there, and it was a different ball game, man. It was a different ball game. You know what I mean?
Lorenzo, I moved to New York City, brother, and I was like, you know, coming from Grand Rapids, Michigan, you know, we got Floyd from Michigan, and I went there. It's like, yeah, this is not the same. This is not like where I'm from. You know,
Right.
faces that I see is like everybody is new, and it's like, man, I had to go ahead and clean my stake and who I was in New York City gyms, and it was like crazy because I was like, sure, got there, I was like, this is not like where I'm from, so I had to
You
be.
had to prove yourself.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. Because a lot of times with growth, you know, a change in the environment will either spark us to go to that next level, or for the people who can't make that adjustment, then they'll
Right.
fall. So when you talk about growth, a lot of times that change in the environment is key for a lot of people. And you know, looking at your career, you was able to make that necessary adjustment, and it made you successful. So you know, when you changing lanes, man, you either gonna pick up and catch the pace of that fast lane, or you get left behind.
Yes, Lorenzo, I want to ask you your growth, right? Being such a renowned, you know, amateur, top ranked amateur in the world, to make a transition to go in a different direction. How was that process in your life?
Well, for me, I was put in a position where, you know, I felt like I had no choice. You know, two-time Golden Glove national champion turned professional with Al Heyman, 15-0 within my first year, and then I had that career-ending injury. And so after that, I had to make that fast adjustment. Do I cry about becoming injured right before the big contract come in? Do you cry about it for the rest of your life? Well, for me, we talked about it last week on Mother's Day. I had a responsibility because that same
Mm.
2006, my mother had passed away. So I had to get custody of my 15-year-old twin sisters. And so it was like, okay, you got to adjust and take that same fortitude and that same mental toughness, and you just use it in a different arena. And so I used that towards business. I had to, you know, go back to what I wanted to get away from. So having that injury, I was upset with boxing. I wanted nothing to do with boxing, right? So then I had to realize, okay, how do I make this a business for me, and how do I include other people to make their life better? And so it took time, of course, but I got my own fitness gym and started teaching kids, and it just wasn't, you know, kids that were competing in the boxing program. It's kids were losing weight, and now we're helping different people on different levels. And so you have to take that thing that hurt you the most and use it as your greatest strength.
So it's a brotherhood of boxing, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Small brotherhood that you got, that you know guys from the amateur, right?
Right.
Who was one of the fighters that constantly checked in with you?
Man, this guy, Andre Durrell,
I was gonna
I
say.
call him a friend to be an injustice. Like, he
Yeah.
is a true brother. You know, he came to my mother's funeral. He uplifted me. He even gave me holy handshakes. We call a holy handshake when somebody give you five and put some money in your hand. And, you know, he showed himself to be a true brother. And, you know, like y'all just said, we have many conversations, and boxing is probably one of the last things we talk about. We talking about family. We talking about stocks and bonds. We talking about pushing our kids to go to the next level. And so you just have to prove, man, that you're deeper than just boxing. And so, like you said, my son, he participated in boxing, but at 13 years old, he's only had 3 amateur fights. Started training when he was 9, and I told him, in order for us to grow in this sport, we have to take it slow. You know, by the time I was 13 years old, I had close to 100 fights. So I said, we'll take it real slow. He likes basketball like your son, so he's playing the AAU. And I told him, we're not going to put all our eggs in one basket. And
Amen.
for us to be better, we have to branch out. We have to see what else. Having God, number one, education, number two. And, you know, let's just try different stuff and see what we like the most. And so, you know, that would be my main thing to any fighter. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't feel like just because you're good that this is the only path for you to be successful. There's many other paths.
But Lorenzo,
And I think especially at a young age, because that's a lot of abuse on these young kids, man.
yeah,
It is.
but you got to be honest though, Lorenzo. That's not what trainers are telling you. That's not what a guy that's coming in the gym and he's good at his craft and he's
No,
like,
that's true.
oh, shut up and box. Don't worry about nothing else.
Right.
How do a fighter supposed to balance that?
Man, I say reading. Always educating yourself. Never settling. You know what I'm saying? You have to go out there and you have to read for yourself. You have to settle. And you know, since we're talking about growth, we should want to grow mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Right.
It taught that, and it takes the parents to, you know, help them to balance things out. You know, you can't spend too much time on one thing, and at that time, that thing really becomes your God, knowingly or unknowingly. That's really what your God is, because just think about it. A fighter wakes up at 5 a.m. and he's gonna train. When he go to bed, he gonna make sure he do his push-ups and sit-ups. A lot of times, that was the only time that I really sustained from sex, was because I had a fight coming up, not because I wanted to please God or because I wanted to practice semen.
That's
At all.
deep.
You make that thing your God, and so we just got to balance things out. You know, I think that's very important.
Purnell, for you, how the same kind of question, like, you know, how did you learn to manage boxing and other having your hands in other baskets and everything like that?
Man, to be honest, I started boxing at a later age. So for me, it was, I enjoyed doing it, but I had other responsibilities, right? And so I just had to start in saying, if I was going to do this, just take a different perspective of it and say, okay, you know what? I understand. I want to do this and I have the support of my wife and everything, but I have other responsibilities. So starting out, I had to kind of navigate and say, okay, this is the time that I can do this. This is the time I can do this. And then I had to say, okay, I have to make time to run in the morning or this and that. So it was kind of difficult, but you know, I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change it for the world because um, I'm gonna say more than anything, what I love about boxing is the brotherhood. And what I mean by that is you, Renz, Aaron, we, we all have an unbelievable brotherhood and an unbelievable respect for each other just because the warriors that we are. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be a warrior to get in there. You gotta have courage to get in there. And it just a regular guy, you know, it take a little bit more to I think to do the sport of boxing. What's your thoughts with that?
Well, I think that leads back into what you appreciate about your process the most. That's what you realize and you get the grasp on. For me, is like, I actually, when I took my first loss, right,
Mm-hmm.
we keep it real transparent with y'all, right? I had so much pressure around me, man. Like I guess I had people around me who thought the lottery. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the lottery hit. You got this guy right here, and it's like I'm such a giving person, right? And I was told the kind of fighter I was supposed to be from other people, not the fighter that was like on my knees in New York, homeless, not the dude that got me to the point saying believing in God. It's now become the fight is become to fight out these ideas that people want me to believe that this will kind of call this person out. I said I ain't never been a person to call people out. I ain't never been disrespectful. Like me and Gabriel Rosado had some back and forth, and it's like he got in my head. I'm like, I made myself believe throughout my whole professional career, you can never take it that serious, especially when you're in a paycheck for doing this. You know what I'm saying? This
Right.
means it's business. This not personal. So how can I mix the business with the personal? There's no way possible for those two things to dwell. So when I took my first loss, man, it's like I got a vision in my career and training and I was in Miami, training in Miami, and I was like, man, I'm Cuban. I was feeling extra Cuban down there and everything, right? I had a dream, man. I had a dream that I was gonna lose, man, the very first round. Like I stopped a lot of guys in the first round. I was gonna get stopped like that, and I was for my whole rest of my camp. I was preparing myself to beat up the dream, not to beat up the person I was fighting.
Okay.
Then I seen that dream come to be what a reality for me. I just remember looking up to the sky and said, God, I'm gonna listen now. I'm listening. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And then that's
Right.
been the process for me being right here with you, talking about all this stuff. So every day we growing. Now it's like we in a situation now. We got a reach, and I just wonder, Lorenzo, I bought a truck. I'm trying to get Purnell to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
He told me that last couple of days ago.
let me humble myself down and get my truck. That's who I bumped into at one of the jobs I was doing, driving a high low.
Who was that?
Dude that fought Tyson, Bruce Sheldon.
Oh, really?
High low. And I'm like,
hey,
man,
Pete,
huh?
stay on here. I'm gonna bring Chris in for a hot second, then I'm gonna bring you right back in because he gotta go. He texted me. So
All right.
stay right there. I'm gonna bring him in, then I'm gonna bring you back in.
I sent him one.
Okay.
Man, that's powerful, P. I like that.
Man, that's my
Powerful.
guy, man.
Yeah.
I love that guy, man.
Yeah.
Real talk. Real talk. We ready for you, my brother.
So while your brother coming in, what area in your life where you think you made the biggest growth at?
I will say probably as far as I'm gonna say marriage, probably, right?
With your marriage?
I think that was the biggest part, the biggest growth because you had to grow up.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know what I mean? And then you got someone else looking at you and just saying, and just being patient with you. But I think that part, you know what I mean? And because you have to grow up. You have to grow up.
Yeah. I would say for me, just patience altogether. Once you get older, you realize stuff don't happen when you want it to. You know,
Okay.
we talked about that before. You plant a seed, and just because you plant that seed, it doesn't mean that you can say when it has its manifestation. You plant that seed, and you have to be patient with it. And so, like a way of humbling people that don't humble themselves, and making you wait. So, along that process of waiting, it's kind of what you do in the between time that will determine sometimes whether you get to that blessing or that manifestation or not.
Right.
So, life definitely has to be patient when you want things to, happen overnight.
Right. What do you think your biggest growth was?
Like I said, man, just with that patience all together, man, and it has to be a continuing thing because just because you have growth in one area of patience, talents in another, so you just have to be willing and ready to make that adjustment.
Excuse me. No. We're talking about you so bad. What up, though?
Why was y'all talking about me?
Because you're a terrible person.
What I do? No, I want to know. Say it while I'm say it with your chest. While I'm here.
Riz, was we talking about him so bad yesterday?
Hey, gonna keep it 100. I'm with you, so it's 2-on-1 against P right now. I'm like, hey.
So
what up, man? What up, though?
Enlighten me.
I can't even say it out here, so we just gonna
But you didn't say it to me?
Huh?
You didn't say it to me, your brethren?
Oh, I say everything. Our cause is so unfiltered, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, no, ain't no fit. Listen, I'm only here once, man. I'm not here I'm here for a good time. I'm hoping it's gonna be a long time. So
Absolutely.
So we talking about growth today.
Awesome.
Yes. So what is your thoughts with that?
Well, what are the points that you all have landed on so far prominently?
I'm gonna say, I guess my question for you would be, how is your growth as far as, okay, I got a great one. From Grand Rapids to LA, what is your biggest growth?
Maturity. Realizing that even though I'm usually more right than you are, I'm not
Wait
always
a
right.
minute.
That part, you know, just listening, paying attention, learn to read the room, read the moment, paying attention to everything, holding myself accountable more discipline, more maturity,
Okay.
things like that. I think those things are important. And I told you to start playing some music when you got people on here. Put a little jazz or something in the background. Show you got some diversity and some culture. Damn it.
We learning. We finna get it. I got
Okay.
you.
Get some music. What up, though? Detroit in the house was good. But yeah, I just think it's important. I don't think you preach it. I think it's something you embrace the ability to do. If we're on this side of the grass today, we have an opportunity for growth. Okay. Somebody said that if you get 1% better each day, that you're 365% better each year. And if you break that down to something really simple, like 15 or 20 minutes of a self-help book, 15 or 20 minutes of some meditation or some prayer, 15 or 20 minutes of a speed reading software, or learning to play the piano, or guitar lessons, or some therapy. Getting 1% better each day, getting a little better each day, not just physically. Saying got nothing to do with gym memberships, but it's just about holding yourself accountable and demanding the best of yourself. That's growth.
I'm gonna say me personally, I'm gonna say your growth is patience. You've become more patient, right?
I've become more patient because I'm more specific with my movements. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, you know, I thought, you know, it was going to take one big movie, one big TV show, boom, be everywhere. Now I realize that if you make a series of calculated moves in the direction of your purpose, right, that's growth.
And I guess I say that because I say patience because I probably talk to you more than I talk to anybody, but we talk so much, but I personally just see just patience. As far as looking at situations from son to family to business to everything, it's just a little bit more, okay, I get it. Like even when things happen and it's not go off, it's just, okay, you know what? I can't do nothing about that. And we just move on.
It's definitely growth. Patience definitely falls within your growth because you learn, okay, I can react or I can assess.
Right.
I read people for who they are now. Okay. Not judge them, but just accept them for who they are. Okay. And I categorize people as I should now. I used to use the word friend a little too loosely. Everybody that you think is a friend may not be your friend. They may be a close associate. They may be an associate, period. But that allows me to know what to expect from them. That's growth. Okay. So I don't expect friend qualities from an associate. I don't expect family qualities from a friend. So it's those things, just learning myself, learning my needs, prioritizing them without being selfish, and paying attention to the area of my life that God keeps blessing allows me to stay in my purpose. And not only stay, but grow.
Where do you see an area right now that you need to grow in?
Oh my goodness, that's how much time you got? It could be, I mean, there's 15 or 20 things that I need to grow at that I'm actively working at. Even though I'm patient, I can learn to be more patient. Mm-hmm. Even though when I'm in a relationship with a woman I love unconditionally, but I could still continue to learn to love better, to be more thoughtful, to be aware of her love languages versus my love languages. Sometimes I'm a workaholic. Sometimes I'll distract myself, and distraction is a vice. And so I'm learning not to distract myself with certain things and get back to work, but also I need to do a better job of taking care of myself and taking half a day on a weekend and just resting and laying the hell down and get some water and some sleep and have a couple conversations.
I need to do a better job with that.
Yeah. We all have
Yeah.
things, but the power in it is being aware of it. I
Yep.
think that if we just, I need to grow. No, how? In what ways? A whole bunch of activity without any movement or progress is just chaos. It's a bar
Okay.
fight. You're not going nowhere. You're just spinning your wheels, but you ain't shifted in the drive yet. And if you know exactly what you need to do or want to do, or what areas you want to get better at, then it's easier to work on yourself in those spaces.
Sure.
And that somebody just said it down there. That essentially that really is what self-care is all about. It's holding yourself accountable, letting yourself rest, pushing yourself to be your best. I'm not trying to rhyme, I promise I ain't. But it's a blend of all of that and some other stuff.
Okay. So you just mentioned relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
What area in that do you feel like you need to grow in, or have you grown in? And
I think
how?
I've grown in the relationship space,
Mm-hmm.
prioritizing them. If I'm dating, in a relationship, in love, if there's different
Can I cut you
categories.
off for a second?
Huh?
Can I cut you off for a second?
Don't say nothing stupid. Go.
You in love every other week, or was that the old?
That was the old me. I prefer to be in a relationship. I prefer to be in a relationship, and I'm not
Red,
sorry about that. But at this point,
Red,
what I've learned,
I would just
watch
say
this.
this.
Watch this.
Everybody he brought to the house, he loved. Okay.
Hey,
Van
asshole.
Allen was
Hey,
the
hey,
love.
hey, hey, hey. Okay, certain stuff is for us to know about. This ain't for all these folks to be all in my business.
I'm just joking.
Watch your
Man. I'm
mouth.
just joking.
I'm gonna
Oh
report your
my! He
page on
said,
Instagram. Get your
"Hey,
shit shut down. Think I won't? I know a couple people over there. Don't play with me. But no, I'm not sorry for wanting to be in a healthy, happy, functional relationship.
Yeah.
And for craving the American dream, love
Right.
and peace and some sense of purpose and a moderate to immense level of wealth and a great relationship with God and wanting all of that and wanting to try to find that in an amazing woman. So I'm not sorry about that, but yeah, I think when I was younger, I did. I fell in love quick because I never got a lot of love as a child. Purnell, shut the front door. I'm being serious. I didn't get a lot of love as a kid, so I think through my teen years and early college years, I was craving that. And even
you know
after
what?
college, that's why I would
To be
fall in love the first month. The first month, I was in love. This is the one. It didn't work out. She went and started dating this rapper. Okay, well, hey, what you doing? Let's fall in love. I was craving that because I never got it.
Okay.
And then I had to learn how to adjust the type of love I was looking for.
Right.
I was trying to maybe replace my mom, my first mom, and my second one, until I got, Michelle Johnson. But I had to adjust the kind of love that I was looking for. So I'm not sorry though for wanting to be and actively being a serial monogamous. I enjoy being in a relationship. So you can learn this is the benefit of that. You can teach a person your love languages. They can teach you theirs. You can teach them to be the everything that you need. As cool, as goofy, hopefully they already are. Because otherwise it wouldn't be the genuine attraction. As naughty, as nasty. You can teach them to be everything.
Go ahead. Do you think you could be with someone that's not goofy?
No.
I was gonna say,
you gotta have a sense of humor. That's important.
Yeah.
And certain people have been through trauma, so maybe they don't. And I get it. But growth is knowing what you can and can't live without, what you can't deal with, and what you would learn maybe, but what you absolutely won't do. I absolutely can't. Ain't no shade. I couldn't date an atheist. I don't care how fine you are.
Right.
You got to have some kind of relationship with somebody bigger than us.
Because I think if Vanetta wasn't silly, we probably would have a divorce because you probably would have made us have a divorce.
It wouldn't have been my fault while you playing. It would have been on
no,
you.
Because you know what?
It would
y'all,
have been with the cat on it,
you
with the
come in
cat
with
with
the
the F hat on.
ridiculous, huh?
I said it would have been the fault of the gentleman with the F hat on, because F means you done effed up. So I think that if y'all would have
I
divorced,
just said, and you know what? I think vice versa too, because I think you get pep talks before anybody meet me. Like, listen,
I do. I do.
I already know you do.
He probably gonna say something he ain't got no business saying, like
Yeah.
he just did. He don't have no filter. He a lot crazy, but he's genuine and he is who he is. And
Right.
even though you might want to beat him with the bar stool, don't. That's usually my go-to. That's usually what I lead off with. And if they stick around, then hey, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think growth is. I think it's what we decide it is.
Yeah.
I think it's our awareness of ourselves and whether or not we're going to sit where we are. I had a conversation with Rio a long time back, and we, you know, I had him stand in the mirror and ask him, you know, are the best years of your life already past, or are they in front of you?
Right.
Are you slowly dying now, or are you going to work now, like Muhammad Ali said, and be a champion forever? You go put in the work now and forever. Muhammad Ali is forever a champion. Are you going to grind now? A little bit daily, get better. Or just you can call it quits and just you're going to tip over in 20, 30 years. And you know, all you got is stories from when you kind of sort of got some good things going.
Right.
That's growth.
That is.
Yeah. What questions you got for him, Brands?
I definitely got one. It feel like right now you have a high level of confidence. What kind of tips would you give somebody in order to grow in that area of confidence?
Well, I think I'll speak to women directly. I've always been a believer in the power of the decision. Like,
okay,
the second that a woman decides she's beautiful, she walk different, she glow different, she talk different. She starts sashaying places and shit. I don't even know what sachet look like, but she starts to sashay. But you got to stick to your decision. If you decide you're beautiful as a woman, if you decide you're sexy as a woman, you embody that. Right. And it's a real thing. And it's the same thing with being confident. There's a huge difference between being arrogant and being confident.
Right.
Being prepared and putting in the work allows you to be confident. If you're insecure and you lack confidence, you overcompensate. And that's where the arrogance and the cockiness comes in. But we live in a space and a place now to where sometimes people want you broken like they are, and they don't want you to be confident. So they'll say you're confident, or you think he know it, or no, I don't. I don't know half of it. I'm just telling you and sharing with you the things that have blessed my life. If I post something inspirational, it's because I read it and it tapped me on the shoulder like this, like, hey, that's for you. And then I look at it like, okay, well, man, if that hit home with me, you know, maybe somebody that I posted for, maybe that'll bless them too. But this just blessed me. That's the only reason I share these things and share these stories, because they're currently actively blessing me. I think confidence is a decision. You remember your value. You remember who you are and whose you are. Immediately, you should feel like, I'm a bad MF.
Yeah.
And you know, I know I just said God and then abbreviated the word, but you understand I'm a cussing Christian. I'm gonna get a hashtag cussing Christian t-shirt and launch them. Yeah. But I think the confidence is a decision you make based on the amount of work you put in and based on the way you treat people. That makes you a good person, and you're allowed to be confident if you're a good person. If you're allowed to be confident when you giving back and trying to help other people, or dedicating resources and time back to schools and foster homes and detention centers. I'm allowed to because I work hard. I don't take nothing for granted. I'll be on set dancing in between takes because I still can't believe this is my job. Appreciation allows you to be confident. Okay. Because you know where the blessings are coming from.
Powerful.
So what all do you have going on right now?
Man. I got both hands open in front of me to catch these blessings right now. Right. June 3rd, The Boys comes out on Amazon Prime. and I'm recurring on that in several episodes. I want to say 4 episodes of the 8 that they're dropping. June 7th, All Rise comes out on OWN. I'd love to see that show picked up by OWN because it had a big following when it was on the other network, and OWN was like, nope, we ain't gonna let that die. And they've worked hard on that show for a long time, and they're a great cast, beautiful cast. They received me like I just had been there the whole time almost. The end of June, either the last week of June or beginning of July, season 2 of All the Queen's Men drops. So I'm super excited. And then, come on, Jesus. And then Reasonable Doubt on Hulu drops, I believe this fall, like September-ish. And it's like a heavy legal drama, and it's a character like I've never played before. So it's crazy, but it's beautiful. And that's the joint with Michael Ealy and Emiyazi Corinaldi and Sean Patrick Thomas. The cast is bananas. So I'm just, sometimes, like my son says, sometimes God will just show off. And I told him I booked another show. He said, another one? God just showing off now. Yeah, he is. He is. And I'm going to let it. I'm going to get out the way and let it.
Yeah. Man, I'm excited to shoot out next week, and
Oh yeah. I'm proud. Growth. We talking about growth. Christian, the sequel, is graduating from boot camp or basic training next week, and I'm super excited about that. We will be there for sure. Yeah, and I'm just happy it's another level of growth for him, another chapter that he gets to write. Yeah. But he wanted to write this one on his own, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah. With a nervous daddy, but we got it. We got this.
Yeah. I'm just listen. I just don't want him off, going off to war.
No, I know, bro. But Chris,
I'd rather him be in the office somewhere giving out instructions. Send this over here. Update this code right here. You're not doing enough. You doing too much. I'd rather him do that and be able to use his brain and his brawn.
Okay.
But I'm proud.
Okay. Man, like I said, I tell you too much. I'm absolutely proud of you, brother. I'm absolutely proud of you. Like I said, you're grinding, and I love it. You know what I mean? Like, your success is my success. So, we just rock out.
And likewise, I mean, you talking about growth from going from the most successful Black-owned moving company in the state, Rent-A-Man, to owning potentially 2 more additional businesses, having enormous contracts that keep you blessed, keep you busy, keep you working. That's no small feat, man. So I'm definitely proud of you as well.
Absolutely. It's a competition. Like I told him, it's a competition. You book something, I got to book something. We got.
It ain't no competition. Your victories are mine. I'll tell you this, and I've told this story a couple times. Yeah. But so I was scrolling through, and they put out a press release that Laz Alonso had booked a lead role in The Boys, and that ended up being an enormous show for Amazon Prime. Like 60, 70 million people across the world watched it. Right. Like it's one of their biggest shows ever. And I'm like, hell yeah, because I know as a Black lead, a strong Black lead, he's going to do a great job. He's going to remind networks and studios that we need strong Black leads. We need representation. Sure. And I was like, he's going to kill this, man. Yeah. Pour myself a little drink around the house, cut something on. I was like, I celebrated it like I booked it. Yep. The week after, because God is a genius and a comedian, I got an audition for a role on that show. The week after that, I booked the same show that I was celebrating somebody else's victory.
Powerful.
That's growth.
Yeah. And that, I think that's the thing with us, because as soon as I'm doing something, I'll call you. Or as soon as you're doing something, or say, hey, this is a possibility or in the works. And I'm just like praying and just celebrating and just saying, okay, you know what? Because I think the excitement is understanding where we came from to understanding where we are now, and to understanding where we're going. And then to just say, okay, you know what? We can just being able to do what we do. Yeah. Like I said, with Daddy just left, but just excited.
I seen y'all. You was on the bike. He was on the treadmill.
Yeah.
I seen y'all. I'll be keeping up.
You know why? Because I told him, I just talked to this fool and he on the steps. So let's get it, Daddy.
I was running the stairs when we talked the other day. I don't play. I get my stairs in. I just don't put the secret location out. So that way, not too many folk know where it is. That's all.
Right. Right. So I said, let's get it, Daddy. He trying to, we got a little vacay coming up. We need to see a pack or something, Daddy. So let's get it.
Please don't have Daddy go wherever we going, wherever we end up.
Yeah, I know.
Out there shirtless, out there with a margarita.
Oh, he taking it off.
Umbrella in it. Because Daddy got some pimp in his blood. Please have Daddy, babe.
He wearing the hat and taking it off. You already know it.
Oh my God.
Huh?
I'm cheering for him. I'm telling him take everything off.
Listen, I'm leaving. If Daddy show up in a Speedo, I'm leaving. Okay?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm gonna call the police on him.
If
check to see in your question section and see if anybody's asking any questions that they want to know or they want answered.
What you got for us, Renz?
Let me see.
What up, Sonia? I'm recognizing some of these amazing folk pulling up here.
Yeah, that's our people right there, man. She from GR, and she definitely be good people, man.
Oh yeah,
good people.
Yeah,
follow me. Man. Just really good people, and I love that. I love that.
Type of man. We're talking about growth, the cost of growth. Want to work the room a little bit.
And while you work in a room, sometimes growth costs you some connections. Sometimes growth costs you some folks that used to be a friend, and you have to move them to the associate category and maybe love them from a distance. Drake said in that new album, I've been losing friends and gaining peace. Basically, that sounds like a fair trade to me.
Wow.
That's growth.
And you know what? I think that's hard for me, right?
Yeah.
It's necessary, but it's hard.
Call me. I'll fire him for you. I'll call him. I'll be like, hey, listen, you and Purnell ain't friends no more. Delete his number. Tag me in. I don't mind. Because, and let me tell you why. And it's not me being mean or jaded.
No,
so much of my childhood, I was afraid of my own voice and shadow.
Right.
Now that I've found my voice and I know how to say the inspirational things I want to say, and I know how to have the conversations that I need to have. I know how to say, because this is big. This is growth. One of the big things I learned, how to have a conversation and say, I'm upset, but I'm not really upset. What you did hurt me. And this is how it hurt me. Your initial go-to reaction a lot of times, mine has always been anger first, figure it out later.
Okay.
Now it's, why does this make me feel like this? I want to be angry, but there's something deeper there. There's a root there. What they did hurt somewhere and somehow. And once I have that honest conversation with myself, then I can figure out, okay, I'm not really mad about it. I'm hurt about it. If this feels like a betrayal, or it feels like you throwing up something that I confided in you and you throwing it up in my face, or it feels like whatever, but that's growth. Having that conversation. You know what?
We have a similar situation. Because I was on you, but I guess I didn't understand for years about that situation.
Yeah.
And now I'm in the same situation, and you just fall back and say, yeah, I was telling you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just look at it and I was just like, I'm gonna say at the time I didn't get it, because I'm like, okay, we're supposed to love or this, but sometimes you have to let things go for peace. This week,
for peace sake, like Matty Brown said.
Yes.
Yes or yes.
Yeah, that's a grandma-ism.
Yeah, that's a grandma-ism. You gotta let certain people. It don't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you don't talk to them for life. It just means you kind of gotta love them from a distance. That's all that means.
Right.
I mean, you still pray for them. You still want, but you can't love somebody more than they love themselves.
Yeah.
You can't fix them and do the work for them, Pete. They have to stand in the mirror and hold themselves accountable. And I need to do this better. I'm not doing this well enough. I can do a better job at this. They deserve better than I'm giving them. They need to have them kind of conversations with themselves. That's growth.
Right. Right. Yeah, I had a similar situation this week, and I had to say, you know what? I gotta let this situation go because it's they're not loving me or respecting me how it needs to be.
Right.
Right. And so I
Someone
had to
asked,
say,
P, somebody asked below, they said, what about distancing yourself from family because of jealousy or success? It can happen. Thankfully, I haven't dealt with a lot of it,
right.
but it can happen because, again, some people, you ever watch a rocket, the spaceships that they send up to the moon and Mars and all of this, the basic chunk of the rocket, the main part of the rocket is here. There's two rocket boosters. When they get to the atmosphere, the rocket boosters have done their job and they fall off, and the rocket keeps going.
Right.
Everybody can't go where you're going.
Yeah.
So the people that are really in your corner, they'll see the growth, appreciate it. They'll understand your schedule and the demands of your schedule and the demands of your work. The people that were just there for the ride or whatever your success is going to give them, they'll get an attitude or start acting differently or telling you, you know, how to spend your money or encouraging you to blow it or waste it. Go buy that $15,000 Birkin instead of send 15 kids to school for a semester at community college.
Right.
You got to, you got to learn the difference. But everybody can't go where you're going. To answer your question, young lady, and it's unfortunate. And you, like I said, you can still love them, but you got some folk you got to love from a distance.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's all. And that's what it is. But I guess you have to go through it to understand it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I didn't understand it because we would have hang-ups. You'd be like, all right, I love you. I'll call you back.
Yeah, because I didn't want to, because I had dealt with that particular trauma for years.
Right.
And you hadn't understood it as well.
No, I didn't. I'm going to be honest. I didn't. And I was looking at it and say, okay, this isn't a big deal, but it's a cumulative of abuse, right?
Yeah.
It's not just one incident. It's, and so, yeah.
And I saw where it was going.
Yeah.
See, you were nearsighted and you needed some emotional LASIK surgery. You needed your vision to be a little better on the long bit. I saw where it was going.
Right.
Yeah, it's emotional LASIK. But it is what it is. I didn't want to be right. But seeing it unfold the way it's unfolded, you know, it is what it is. But again, that's growth, kind of seeing where certain things are going to go. Certain patterns keep happening. If people keep showing you red flags and red buildings and red cities, I'm like, oh no, I got to distance myself. Right. I'm gonna pray for you and I'm still gonna love you, but I got to go, man.
What
other questions y'all got? Because I ain't gonna take over this whole thing. I'm gonna go ahead and go. But y'all,
we ain't gonna let you. We're gonna kick you out. I'm in control now.
This is true. This is true. And I told you, that's why I was fussing at you. I was like, P, I promised I was gonna go live today on Facebook. Right. So I'm gonna get over there in a second, but I wanted to stop by and chop it up with y'all.
And man, like I said, we really appreciate all your support. You know, you putting out the posts, just all the love, man. We really appreciate you, man.
Y'all doing something positive over here, man. And there's a lot of women that we don't publicly often have these conversations. The way we were raised, we weren't supposed to appreciate or express our feelings. Right. They would say what that is. That's soft. You know, that's this, that's that. No, that's healthy. That's growth. Yeah. Yeah. So now it's important.
And that's what I tell you. I felt that so much last week, talking about mother and talking about it was a heavy time for me.
I'm kind of glad I couldn't join y'all because I'd have been on here balling, and I it still hits me sometimes. But at the end of the day, I do know that she's resting. She ain't hurt no more.
Right.
and she still lives through our love and our accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Well, Rance, last question for this guy.
Man, listen, bro, I'm just excited to go back and rewatch it. He said some powerful things. Some powerful things.
thank you, brother. I appreciate it, and thank you for creating this space. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on what y'all doing over here because I love it. It's positive and normalizing real men talk about real life things.
Right.
That's
Right.
growth.
That's growth.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna just say love you, man, and I'm just gonna end how we always end. Get off my phone.
I love you too, man.
Love you too, brother. See you
All
later.
right, later,
Thank
y'all.
you.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thank you.
What
Yeah,
up, dude?
that was amazing, P.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
for sure, man. For sure, man.
many nuggets, bro. We're
You say
moving.
what?
Just things that we need to hear because it's a process to this thing called growth. It doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna fall sometime, but you got to find it in you to keep on moving, even when you feel like you failed, because a failure is just temporary. It's only
Right.
you say that you're gonna stay there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, man. Like I said, I think that situation is um me and his relationship is, I ain't gonna say it's crazy, man. Like I said, we talk about everything,
right.
everything, and that's my go-to. You know what I mean? That's definitely my go-to. We just talk about different situations, and I think it's healthy and helpful. You know what I mean? For us to do that, and honestly, I think that was a big part of my growth. I think as well as he is just to be able to have that communication with each other, and to be able to be criticized
Mm-hmm.
and say, okay, you know what, take it.
Take it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's good because talking is therapeutic, and that criticism. I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't want to listen to it, in my
Okay.
years, but once you learn to breathe it in
Mm-hmm.
and accept it, it make you a stronger person. But you have to listen to it. You have to pretty much digest it and use it for what it's worth. Because a lot of times,
Yeah,
a lot of truth in it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And like I said, I definitely need it. Especially I'm constantly jumping into different business ventures or different things, and yeah, it's important. That's super, super important. That's super, super important. Well, I don't think we're gonna keep these guys too long, my brother. What do you have? What's your last thoughts or last words with this?
Man, like I say, I want to go back and listen to this again, man, because it was so many nuggets that was dropped
Okay.
and grow from this conversation. Look forward to having Kid Chocolate back on with us again.
Yeah, man, definitely. I just tried to bring them back in,
Yeah.
but
Very, very powerful brother, man. His testimony and just, everything that we're going through, we got a good thing going. Let's keep this
yes,
going.
yes,
As always, our mission is to educate, inspire, and just go further, man. As long as we keep that, we cannot lose.
yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely, man. Definitely like to thank my brother, Chris. Thank my other brother, Pete Quillen, world champion, Kid Chocolate. That's my guy. That is my guy. Like I said, he's doing some great things here in the city, over in New York. He's doing some great things. And yeah, man, definitely. Like I said, we're gonna have some other guests on here. Um, these are, I think, a lot of the guys or a lot of people we're bringing in right now are just people that we're really close with, and that we, like me, you can have just real conversations. People that we have real conversations with. So those are a lot of people that we're bringing in, or a lot of guests that we're bringing in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. I love it.
I love it too, man. I like where we're going from his perspective. It doesn't mean our perspective is perfect, but until we hear each other, then
Mm-hmm.
we stay complacent in that same spot. But once we hear each other out, we go forward. So Another successful week, brother.
What's your last words?
Man, my last words is thank everybody for tuning in. Let's all continue to grow by encouraging each other. One of the main things I like that Chris said is he brought up the fact how he celebrated someone else's success. So let's find a way to celebrate someone else's success, whether it be big or small, whether it be openly or in a DM. Just tell them congratulations and let it come from a warm, heartfelt, real place in your heart.
Right.
You know, let's challenge each other to do that this week. Celebrate someone else's success to the point to where we actually happy for it, and that's a way of moving forward.
I'm gonna say, for me, sometimes growth is letting go, but letting go without being bitter or animosity, and just saying, you know what, I love you, but this isn't the right time for us right now, or this isn't the right. I'm gonna say for me. I can't say us. I'm gonna say for me, because I think a lot of relationships or a lot of different things, people don't see eye to eye, or it's certain expectations that people are asking that are unrealistic.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's my last words on that growth situation, man. So, man, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. I apologize, we're a little behind the schedule today, but we did it. We did it. We're here, and man, we appreciate you guys and thank you guys. And like I said again, Chris, I appreciate you, my brother. I love you. Pete, thank you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see you guys next week.
Next Saturday is on.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.